So Nintendo has announced the Switch 2 is going to be coming this year, and there's going to be a direct April 2nd. I'm guessing they did that on purpose because it's not going to be April 1st. But I think the big question a lot of people have been thinking is what's going to happen with Kirby on the Switch 2. It's weird saying, Switch 2, not Nintendo Switch. But that being said, what we can definitely expect right away, and I feel like what has been technically announced already for Kirby on the Switch, is the fact that the Nintendo Switch Online is going to be transferred over from the original Switch, and it's going to work on the Switch 2. It'd be cool if this kept working on subsequent Switches and other consoles of Nintendo in the future, but that's good because, well, we don't have to buy our digital virtual console games once again, and it's quite annoying, buying Kirby's Dream Land for the 99 time. Granted, I do really like that game. I love Kirby Dream Land 2 as well, but yeah, it's going to be nice to finally see those games come over on the Switch 2 easily. But another thing to keep in mind as well, so technically, yeah, so there are some games that are announced being Kirby's Dream Land, Kirby Dream Land 2, Kirby Tilt and Tumble, and, all the other games as well, like Kirby 64, that are already on the Switch Online. All the Switch Online, even Kirby Super Star Stacker, or, Kirby Star Stacker, I guess as Nintendo's calling it. The game that we never got in North America is also going to be on the Switch 2. So, yeah, wow, lots of cool games on there. And of course, not every game that is possible to be on the Switch Online is on the Switch Online yet. We have games like Kirby's Block Ball, Kirby Pinball Land, and others that we've yet to see, like Kirby Star Stacker, the original one on Game Boy that we did get. But as for when those will be announced eventually, I do feel like we will be seeing those games come to the Switch Online, the Game Boy Online in particular, very soon, very eventually. I think that's mainly going to be when the next Kirby game happens. They're going to be releasing those as sort of a release special, kind of like what Nintendo did with the Donkey Kong Land games. Granted, we didn't get to see Donkey Kong 64, but I think we're going to be seeing the Game Boy games. Maybe it's hinting at something. Maybe the fact that we don't have those games on the Nintendo Switch Online yet, there could be a possibility that we're seeing some hint at there could be some sort of maybe Game Boy remake of Kirby. Maybe Kirby Super Star Stacker could finally happen. Whatever the North American name will be finally. Some sort of Kirby remake from the Game Boy. That'd be really cool. Kirby Block Ball, very overlooked game, I gotta say. Why is that not on the Game Boy Online yet? Really, once that comes out, go check that out. Put that on your watch list. Put that on your wish list. Kirby Block Ball. It sucks because that was in the 3DS Virtual Console, but it was taken offline 2 years ago now, and that was only $4. What a steal for just how phenomenal that game is. Just a ton of replayability, tons of fun with that over and over, but yeah, so, of course, besides the Nintendo Switch Online games being on the Switch 2 confirmed, now, of course, there isn't any necessarily completely confirming stuff that will work on the Switch, and I'm particularly talking about the backwards compatibility, because it has been confirmed that backwards compatibility is going to be on the Switch 2, so games on the original Nintendo Switch will be working on the Switch, of course. And as for what games will work, not every game Nintendo said will work. They do not have a definitive list yet. I would imagine as stuff gets closer, they'll talk about the games that aren't going to work. It's going to be more obvious than saying like, oh yeah, here's the tens of thousands of Switch games that are going to work on the Switch 2. It's going to be just like, and I don't really think games like Ring Fit Adventure are going to work because of the strange Joy-Cons. You're probably going to have those original Joy-Cons to make them work, because they should work with the Switch 2. But now, as for, of course, the games that are already on the Switch, such as Kirby Star Allies, Kirby and the Forgotten Land, and, of course, Kirby Return to Dream Land Deluxe, those should work on the Nintendo Switch 2. Now, of course, there are going to be some odd things that might not work completely, such as the HD Rumble Easter egg in Kirby Star Allies. It's possible there still will be having HD Rumble. I should say, I suppose that doesn't really matter a ton, going into complete specifics about that. But the Joy-Cons pretty much should be about the same, if not upgraded on the Switch 2, such as we've been seeing the mouse support. That's pretty freaking cool, I gotta say. What are we going to have, like Mario Paint on the new Switch? But I suppose I'm getting off topic there. Looking forward to that. I think as well something cool, Game Builder Garage has mouse support, and I wonder if we're going to be seeing a reprint of that. The fact that you can use actual mouse. How many people knew that you could connect a USB frickin' mouse to your actual Switch right now and play Game Builder Garage? You can even do that with a keyboard. I remember doing that the first year I had my Switch, but once again, going way off topic. But yeah, so games we definitely can expect, of course, is the Switch Online games, and of course Kirby Star Allies, Kirby the Forgotten Land, and Kirby Return to Dream Land Deluxe. Now, as for games on the eShop, such as Kirby Fighters 2, or, Kirby, the Round and Return Kirby Dream Buffet, and, I don't think there's entire confirmation about the eShop if it's going to work. I'm hoping that there's going to be some sort of cleanup with the eShop process. Maybe I'm sure there's going to be some sort of backwards compatibility with downloadable games, but because it's going to be a little strange, you know, those digital only games on the Switch, particularly those Kirby spin-off games. I do wonder, you know, how that's going to work. Is there going to be like, is this going to be an entirely new eShop? Is this going to be, because that would be, I think the nice thing if it was a new eShop, it would help clean up a lot of that garbage on the Switch. We're seeing all kinds of shovelware, just all kinds of like scam, blockchain, whatever kind of games out there that are on the Switch Online, or excuse me, the Nintendo Switch eShop right now. But that is going to be a little interesting, because if we do have the same eShop accessible on the Switch too, then yeah, that means it should say that those, you know, digital only games such as Kirby Dream Buffet, such as Kirby Fighters 2, should work on the Switch 2. But of course, I think that's not completely confirmed yet. I'm going to say that there is a possibility we might not see those games work, but I definitely could see all the physical games released, you know, such as Kirby Star Allies, going to be working on the Switch. And of course, the digital only ones that I already mentioned would be the Nintendo Switch Online stuff as well, whether it be the N64 app, Super Nintendo, NES, Game Boy, all kinds of fun stuff as well. Now, as for the next game for Kirby, now I think what we can expect for a brand new title of Kirby, and I think it's going to be on the Switch too, is it sounds like HAL's next 3D platformer, and I would say that's going to be happening within the second year of the Switch 2 being on the market. So I'm going to say that's going to happen next year, because usually when it comes to Kirby stuff, we don't see Kirby games happen within the first year of a new system releasing. I feel like Nintendo's got to have some plans. You know, there's obviously going to be Mario Kart 9 or whatever it may be, that new name for the Mario Kart, and something, whether it be new 3D platformer for Mario, because it's been, what, 8 years now coming up? Yeah, that's going to be huge. New Legend of Zelda, all kinds of cool stuff that we can expect, I'm sure, from Nintendo. But I don't think we're going to be seeing a new Kirby game come out this year when the Switch releases. I'm going to say it's going to come out next year, such as with Kirby Star Allies that came out March 18th, 2018, you know, a year after the Switch came out. So I'm sure we can expect that to happen. And if not, maybe it'll be a 2D sort of Kirby game. Now, I will say, real side note, quick little sticky note here about when it comes to the original Switch, what can we expect for the original Switch? Now, there has been rumors about a Kirby Planet Robobot port, remaster, whatever it may be, to the Nintendo Switch, and maybe even Triple Deluxe. I feel like it's going to release on the original Switch, because Nintendo is known, or I should say HAL Labs is known to release Kirby games at the end of systems' lives. So as a result, I could see that happening, and because the Switch 2 has backwards compatibility, whether it be, you know, Robobot or whatever it may be, I could see that happening. As for, I think Nintendo's probably going to be pulling the plug on the original Switch eventually, just because of backwards compatibility. But I guess, well, also because of pressure in general, because people, when look at the 3DS, for example, everyone's like, "What? The 3DS needs to go away! The 3DS needs to go away!" And so many people were just like, "Wow!" Like, you know, I'm over here supporting the 3DS still, but a lot of people were just like, "We need to focus on the Switch. We need to focus on the Switch." And now that there's backwards compatibility, I'm sure we could see Switch support for probably another year at most. But yeah, no, I think when it comes to, of course, the Kirby's Future, there's going to be that port, or some sort of port that's going to happen. And I'm sure all will be revealed once Nintendo's next Direct. And I feel like there's going to be a second Direct besides the Switch 2 Direct that, you know, will be happening on April 2nd. But with that being said, then, I would say Kirby's Future is looking bright. I do think as well there will be some sort of spin-off game that will be releasing. Hey, Kirby Battle Royale, you know, that'd be a pretty freaking cool port. That it sucks because that game had really cool online support, and honestly, playing it locally, it just doesn't feel the same. I think that would be a really cool port that could happen, but granted, I'm not saying per se that's confirmed, but I think that could be probably the next spin-off game that could end up happening for Kirby. Whether it be on the Switch 2 or the original Switch. Now, once again, I think that is the biggest thing of interest I'm interested in, is how digital-only games are going to work. Now, Nintendo did say backwards compatibility. They said most games work, and I wonder if that also includes the eShop. So I think that's the biggest point of interest. That is the biggest point of interest with what exactly this limitation of, like, not every Switch game is going to work on the Switch 2, but With that being said then, let me know what you think down below when it comes to Kirby's future on the Switch. I would say what I have in mind is pretty solid about when it comes to Kirby's future. Then after, of course, you know, the beginning of Kirby's future, it could really be up in the air. You know, Kirby's future is very bright in general, but yeah, let me know what kind of games you would like to see. Is there some cool Switch Online games? It's a really terrible name, by the way. I like Virtual Console better, but there's some classic, there we go, classic Nintendo Switch Online games you would like to see that you're looking forward to. Once again, me for Block Ball. Heck yeah. And yeah, I'm sure you're all hyped for Kirby's future in Switch 2. I know I am. With that being said then, hope you have a great rest of your night, day, time zone. And of course, don't forget to steal yourselves. Bye-bye, everyone.